Hey, friends. So, I have something for you this week. I have what I call a freebie. I have a 7-day devotional for those who are in waiting seasons, waiting rooms, those who feel alone, who feel lonely. So, I want you to download it today and feel free to use it as you please. You could do it all in one time, you could do it over 7 days. But it's going to give you a little bit of insight into some creative activities that I'm going to have in my book. Hope has a seat in every waiting room. Um, so it's called Draw Near, and it's going to be a series. I'm going to put it out every month. They'll focus on different things. So this is week 1 of our Draw Near series. We're talking about something this week that can be a little uncomfortable for some people. And that's learning to draw near to yourself. For a long time, I thought drawing near meant spending quiet time with God or showing up for others. But I didn't realize that part of honoring God is learning to listen to the heart He gave me, listening to my own heart. There was a season in the thick of caregiving where I didn't even know what I felt anymore. If you asked me how I was, I would say, I'm fine. And I really meant it. I'm fine. But you know what? The truth was I wasn't fine. I was exhausted. I was grateful. I was anxious. I was numb. And I had these feelings all at once, overwhelmed. And they've all flooded me to the point that I'm like, I'm fine. And one afternoon, I was sitting in a hospital parking garage. There were tears at the brim of my eyes, ready to pour over, but I wouldn't let them spill over. I didn't have any words to explain why I should be crying, and I didn't want to cry because crying would mean stopping, and stopping would mean feeling, and I didn't want to feel. That night, I finally did stop. Maybe not because I wanted to. Pretty sure not because I wanted to, but because I had to. I was at the end of myself. At the end of myself. I sat in silence that night and I just whispered, God, what's happening inside of me? I didn't even know. So, as I journeyed through the journey of caregiving, sitting in waiting rooms and feeling alone, I began to have some people pour into my life that were super wise. I had a counselor pouring into me. I had a pastor and his wife. Matter of fact, I had a couple of pastors just really pouring into my life, pouring wisdom in. And through their help, very slowly, I began to notice some of those feelings in my heart, that grief, the fear, the relief at times. I even had moments of peace. And I realized something. God wasn't afraid of any of those emotions, not any of it. You know, your feelings aren't too much. They're trying to tell you something. That realization changed everything for me. I stopped seeing my emotions. Well, let me say, I tried to stop. I worked on stopping, seeing my emotions as something to control, and started seeing them as something to listen to. Oh, let me say that again. I stopped seeing my emotions as something to control and started seeing them as something to listen to. That still kind of steps on my toes today. It's not something I have perfected, let's say that. When we begin to notice what's happening inside of us without judgment, we just sit with those feelings. but we create a place of worship. Awareness is a form of worship. It's how we invite God into the truth of what's happening within us. Listening to your heart isn't self-centered, it's soul-centered. It's paying attention to the whispers that say, I'm afraid, or I need a nap. Or y'all, this is too much. This, what I'm carrying is too heavy. I can't do this. So I'm going to ask you to be kind to the part of you that's still learning to rest. You're not behind. You're healing. You're not behind. You're healing. We need rest. Sometimes that's what our feelings and our emotions and our bodies tell us. And if we could learn to take that before we are knocked smack dab and have to rest, it would be so much better if we could learn to listen to ourselves. So this week, I want to invite you to one simple thing. When you feel something rise up, whether it's sadness, maybe it's irritation with someone, maybe it's joy. When you feel an emotion rise up, just pause. Don't rush to fix it. Don't rush to explain it. Just say, Lord, this is what's in my heart right now. Help me listen. Then take a deep breath and blow it out nice and slow. Because sometimes awareness is the answer. So give yourself the permission to draw near to yourself and discover that God's already near, waiting to meet you there. So if this message spoke to you, share one word in the comments that describes what you're noticing in your own heart this week. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, do that today. And download Draw Near, drawing near to myself this week. From one waiting room to another, keep holding hope.